Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TrustSwap Launchpad interview series with YakDAO. My name is Brett, and today I'll be your host. I'm joined today by David Woodbury, the CEO and founder of YakDAO. Thanks for joining us today, David. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Brett. Thanks so much for having me. Super excited to be launching YakDAO on TrustSwap and excited to get into the details today.
Yeah, we're super excited about YakDAO on TrustSwap too, and I'm sure the community is really pumped up. As always, guys, a quick reminder to please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video for more Launchpad news, TrustSwap updates, and some exclusive content. David, I'm pumped that we get to talk today on the interview series. I'm looking forward to it. Let's dive on in.
Let's do
If
it.
you could, if you could please start by telling us a little bit about yourself and then telling us a little bit about YakDAO.
Yeah, so I've been a serial entrepreneur, been an entrepreneur for over a decade, mostly in the Web 2 space. But I founded a company called Camp Native, which was a booking engine for campgrounds and RV parks. And then that was acquired a couple of years back. And that was really the inspiration and the background for inspiring YakDAO. What we saw through the Camp Native process was glamping specific resorts. Glamping is like luxury camping, essentially, is the term. But those were some of the highest margin real estate plays that you could invest in, and the access to that was only multi-millionaire investors or private equity funds. So the vision of YakDAO is really to open up that real estate asset to a retail investor.
Okay, yeah, that's unbelievable. So I'm assuming that's done through obviously the project and the YAKS token, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So what we did with the YAKS token is we looked at the average returns of a private equity fund for their limited partner pool, and we have reverse engineered our tokenomics through our buyback methods to really mirror what you would have from a return standpoint in a private equity fund. But what's interesting about it is you don't have to be an accredited investor or a multimillionaire to have access to this type of asset.
So can you explain to me how the token mirrors private equity returns?
Yeah, so the average private equity returns to limited partner pools are 25 to 35% in luxury camping, glamping style properties. So what we've done is 30% of the DAO's revenues go towards a token buyback. For those holders that are staking the YAKS token, that buyback, 80% of that buyback goes to those staking pools. And then in addition to that, the 20% margin we burn, so creating a deflationary asset.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, it's a really nice system to bring value back from at least from what I've seen.
We looked at a lot of different methods. I think there's a lot of projects that have tried to solve this because of the securities laws and everything that's out there. And this, from a legal standpoint and structure, was the easiest mechanism to really do this. So
Outstanding. I'm glad the team has taken a big look into those things too. It shows that preparation level.
yeah, you can never be too prepared to deal with those folks. So
Of course, we want to make sure we're doing everything by the book, as we are always. Cool. Changing speed here a little bit. Obviously, you had mentioned this was an accredited investor kind of space, or it's kind of been gate kept before. What makes you stand out from your competitors? And are there any extra benefits for token holders?
yeah, that's a great question, Brett. So I think the first thing is we understand our target demographic that we're approaching is 25 to 35-year-old professionals. We found that demographic is underserved on accessibility to real estate, meaning they have little or no real estate assets in their portfolio. So they don't have a share of that in the industry right now. And really what YakDAO does is our approach is, we're targeting the same sort of properties and high yield properties that private equity funds in real estate are doing. That's really our target. These are multi-billion-dollar funds, not necessarily any other crypto project that's out there, right? So we're specifically targeting, I think, one of the biggest asset classes in the world, and we're making that accessible to a demographic that doesn't have a share or access to those to this asset class today.
I love that. I think one of my biggest, you know, reasons for being in this industry in the first place is providing access. We've seen it all over the place, where just access is just gate kept all over the place, and the regular person can't get a share of any of these things. I love the accessible part about this project.
Yeah, I think, and then the second piece of your question is the way that we're structured as a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, and really that is community driven. So we want to source amazing locations all over the world. Our community is already bringing us locations in like the Pyrenees, South America, Africa. So the vision is really to build a global luxury camping brand that's community driven, that brings people together. I think our second sort of opportunity is really, we want people to get outdoors. We want people to celebrate being outside and doing amazing adventures and doing that as a community. I think in crypto, we spend a lot of time in front of screens. And at Yak, our vision is let's do business. Let's talk about life, but let's do that over a bonfire. Let's do that with under the stars and just have an amazing experience together.
I can definitely resonate with that one. I'm a Canadian, so we have a really nice backyard where I
certainly
live.
Do.
Yeah, we have a real nice backyard out here. Some really nice mountains, some really nice trees. I have an unlimited data plan, so I can go work outside sometimes, which is really nice. And if you guys watching this, if you're checking your charts and looking around, get outside and do it. It's nice to have a little sun on your face.
Right.
Dovetailing off that, obviously on the face of it, these glamping sites look amazing. By the way, I'm going to cut myself off there. Everyone watching the video, we are going to have a ton of links down below in the description of this video. You're going to want to check out YakDAO. You're going to want to check out their socials. You're going to want to check out their website. Every one of those links is going to be hosted down below. So you're going to be able to see kind of the resources that they've provided as well. Back to it. On the face of it, these glamping sites look amazing. I'm definitely all in on it. I love going camping. Like I said, Canadian. How do you intend to gain this mass adoption and roll this product forward?
Yeah, I think so. One thing that I think is interesting about YakDAO as a blockchain project is most projects haven't built anything yet. When they're launching a token. YakDAO already owns property. We've already got 5 units developed, and those units are began producing revenue last fall. So we've been actually compiling buybacks before we've even created our token generation event. So we've been able to execute, I wouldn't say flawlessly, but through the bear market. And the vision for growing this is we're deploying better units into the property, so higher end units that are going to yield higher buybacks into property number one. We do plan to acquire 2 additional properties, likely in the U.S. market, just because we have deep experience, as I mentioned, with our Camp Native background. And then also one of our primary investors is the largest insurance broker for campgrounds and RV parks in the U.S. So we understand that market quite well. We also understand the global glamping market because it's a relatively small market. It's about a $3 billion market today, but it's exploding to estimated to be about 8 billion by 2030. So we're in crypto, which is high growth, and we're also in glamping, which is high growth, the intersection of those two.
I love the analysis to look into the kind of how the market is progressing. I think one big thing I wanted to highlight, one thing that I look for, and I know the TrustSwap team looks for, being able to build during the bear market, I think was something that you understated a little bit there. To be able to stay alive and create and grow during that time period is something that I put a big check on when I'm doing my research, because that's a really big I'm sure you know it. We know it. It's super challenging
Yeah.
to stay afloat.
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate. We've had our founding team has been in business for a while. Like my co-founder and I have worked together since 2014 or 2015. So we're talking a decade of working together with a couple of exits along the road. So, we're fortunate to not have to take salaries or anything with this business, with this opportunity. So that puts us in a situation, I think, that's a little different than a lot of founders. So this is really for us as a passion project. It's something that we really care about. We care about bringing this to the crypto community, but we also care about bringing this to the broader, adoption of digital assets through a different offering that's not available.
I love it. I love it. I love it. On that note, because it's that passion, I know what the community is a little bit passionate about. A little bit of sneak peeks and upcoming alpha. Is there anything that you can give the TrustSwap community who's looking for a little sneak peek, upcoming alpha? Anything big coming up behind the scenes with YakDAO?
Yeah, so our background is definitely in Web 2. We have just hired basically a whole Web3 marketing team. So there's going to be a ton of marketing news about YakDAO, both through our public raise and then ongoing after that. And then we are going to take a Web 2 approach with this from a marketing standpoint as well, because we want to be a gateway for that 25 to 35-year-old investor that wants access to real estate assets. So we definitely want to be a gateway to bring those folks to crypto. Alpha, we have 5 domes on order, and those are going to be set up. They're absolutely amazing. I can't wait to show you guys what they are going to look like on this property, but they're going to yield $250 to $350 per night. There's going to be a hot tub, beautiful deck, beautiful scenery, we're putting bathrooms and kitchenettes in the units, so it's really going to be like an amazing retreat for you to come stay at. And if you're an early token holder, you'll get a discount to stay at those. And we also plan to do some giveaways to the community here as so nights and stays. If you're in the States or you can get to North Carolina, which is where our first property is, we'd love to have you come stay. And then we will announce soon dates for our first Yak Fest. And so that'll be a community event where we'll bring out, maybe 50 to 100 unique, contributors or supporters of the project to be a part of that first festival. And then we plan to grow that from there.
Awesome. There's a lot going on there. The best way to keep in touch and to know what's going on, everybody, like I said a little bit ago, make sure to check out the description below. We're going to be putting links in there. You're going to want to pay attention to this one so you kind of know what to do and find all this alpha. Thanks for sharing that with us. I'm really excited. I might have to take a trip down there. I'm close enough.
You guys will definitely have to come visit. It's a great experience. I'm actually going down there to build out some of the property this next month here. So even when we're in TGE, we're also boots on the ground on the property. So that's part of the game,
Getting to work, working hard. Well, speaking of work, it's not really work, but the big question: how is the community going to get involved? How can the TrustSwap community, get in on YakDAO?
Yeah, so I think as we run through the Launchpad here, we'd love for you to join our Telegram community, which is just YakDAO on Telegram, or follow us on Twitter, the YakDAO. And then, further, we do have a small governance committee. Those are kind of shareholders that have been a part of this, token holders that have been a part of this for the last couple of years. From the get-go. We started building this, by the way, April of 2022. So I think ETH was like $900 then. So that's right, talking about the bear market.
Says a lot.
Yeah. But so that it is a pretty small community, and we definitely want to open that up from a governance standpoint. So we'll be utilizing Snapshot. We're setting that up. So we'll start using regular DAO voting mechanisms. So if you hold the token, you'll be able to go in and vote on future properties that we might have, bring new opportunities or properties that you want to recommend for us to build on, and or even review like experiences and units that we might, like a treehouse, for example, that we could build on one of the properties. So as we have funds to deploy, we'll consistently engage the community on the experience we want to offer.
Absolutely incredible. And just for everybody as well, that TrustSwap IDO is going to be on March 7th at 5 p.m. UTC. You know the standard. You got 24 hours to participate. There's no rush at the beginning. We don't need to have a gas war. March 7th, 5 p.m. UTC. You'll have 24 hours to apply for this. David, thank you so much for joining me. I know you probably got some work to do. I don't want to keep you here forever. But really quickly, do you have any final words for the TrustSwap community watching this video?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Brett. And we couldn't be more excited to work with TrustSwap on this opportunity and get exposure to your community. We've heard only great things about the community here. So I think there's a lot of crossover with YAKS. That's what we call our community, is our YAKS. And the reason why we call ourselves YAKS is they're the animal that brings people to the greatest experience on Earth, which is Mount Everest. It took 283 YAKS to set up the base camp at Mount Everest. So this is really the vehicle to amazing outdoor experiences. And I just would love to have your community and you guys a part of building the next outdoor experience project.
I couldn't love that more. 283 YAKS. I'm going to remember that. Unbelievable. Well, thank you, David, for joining us today and sharing your vision for YakDAO. And as always, I want to thank the audience for watching this week's TrustSwap interview series. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and leave us some comments down below. David and myself would love to answer those, and we will be happy to continue the conversation. For those interested in getting involved in the YakDAO community, check out the links in the description below. Join the YakDAO Telegram channel and learn about all their upcoming news. It's probably one of the best places to learn. Plus, I'm sure you can get a hold of David if you want to ask him any questions. Thanks again, everybody. We appreciate you joining us, and we really look forward to the upcoming launch on March 7th at 5 p.m. UTC. Take care, everybody.